Hello everybody, it's me Roscoe and welcome to the latest instalment of Game Day, and we're back at Portman Road for the penultimate home game of the season as Ipswich Town take on Brentford in the Premier League. And yeah, a beautiful sunny day here in Suffolk, so hopefully a good day in store. But Kieran McKenna's side of course got a tough game as they take on Thomas Frank's Bees, who are 5 games unbeaten. They're pushing for Europe, so there's something to play for in this game. It's not a dead rubber. Brentford will be going for it, and they've got some good players, haven't they? But Town want to finish the season with a bit of pride. 3 games left to go. Could they get 3 points here at Portman Road? It's been a rarity this year. Only 1 win at home. Of course, that was the Chelsea game to end 2024. But yeah, we shall see what happens. Normal stick as ever. Media Scran, let's going to find out what that is. Team news, and of course the thoughts from the Cowboy Army. Always good to chat with them. Hope you enjoy as ever. Let's go. Okay then, as standard, gone straight up to the media room and boom, chicken stroganoff. As standard. I also asked for the bit of the veg version as well. Get some 5-a-day in me. Also got some fruit. Let's get in the belly. Team news about to drop. Let's see who's starting. Okay then, food is very much in the belly. Chicken stroganoff never fails. Just solid. Get me ready. There's 9 minutes of football. And just have a nice little sit down as the players start their warm-ups. And got a programme. Team news. One change. This man, Axel Twanzebe, is back in. He comes in for Luke Warford. That's the only one change for Kieran McKenna's side. Brentford unchanged. So their forward line, it's going to be interesting. We're going to see what happens. I've predicted a draw for this one. I've gone for another Desmond, so we shall see what happens. I want to get in my position to take away snappy snaps. Just going to go inside, get a drink. Let's see what we got in store in the first half. Here we go then in my snappy snap position. The players are out. The first half about to kick off. Let's see what happens. Let's go. It's half time. I've just gone in the photographer's room to get myself a lemon cake. Just get me ready for this second half. And that first half wasn't pretty, was it? Bit of a corner chaos for the Brentford goal. There was VAR involved, Jacob Greaves and all that. I was the other end of the pitch, so I couldn't really see what was going on. But yeah, Brentford, I think their 3rd attempt to a corner and they score from it, which is a bit annoying. Bit of a frustrating first half, really. Town have had maybe 1 or 2 chances, nothing too amazing. But yeah, not a pretty first half. But Brentford just showing their quality, but a lot of boos at the ref at the half-time whistle because obviously there's been some decisions that he's not done great. But first half, not great. Second half, we shall see what's in store. Let's go outside, get some more snappy snaps. So full time here, it's ended 1-0 to Brentford, and that was that. You were saying just off record, Bloomers.
Yes.
That sort of summed up the season because...
we can list it if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Well, so I'm not going to be at the West Ham game, so this was my last game of the season. And it's a good microcosm of everything, really, that we've had over the season. Very bad refereeing, in my point of view. I'm not going to go as far as say what everyone else was saying, but bad refereeing. Competitive,
yep.
Had chances, didn't take them, get punished when you don't defend properly, and come up just short. And if you look at more than half of our games this season, that's been kind of a recurring theme, just not having the quality for whatever reason it is to get a result. I think we had a 1-0 against Brighton, a 1-0 against Palace, a 1-0 here, 3 games where on a different day or a bit more firepower up front you get something out of it, but it's not to be. And like I say, it's if you're repeating the same thing over and over again, there is luck and there is bad luck, but also there is regression to the mean, and probably sadly, it's true that it's just not good enough. That's not me, giving any great dramatic insight. Like, people know that. Like, I'm not saying some amazing thing no one's heard of before, but it's just frustrating. Yeah, it was really, really nice though. That I thought that the fans might today just be a bit sort of subdued, and I got to say it was a really good atmosphere. The crowd stuck with them.
Obviously, the sun's out now, so everyone's happy.
Yeah. Although I'm in the cobbled stand lower, and I'm getting absolutely fried on. I'm probably looking radioactive at the moment. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning the same colour as the pink 3rd kit. So it's tough going and really good for the fans to just stick by them, because I just think they deserve that applause at the end of the game. I don't stay and applaud if I don't think they deserve it. Call me a bad fan if you want, but I have that principle. But I stayed to the end and clapped them off because I thought they deserved it. The second half, we gave it a really good go.
At the end as well, like the final minutes, that goalkeeper was just prime Neuer. Just saving everything.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to move for the header in the last minute. No. That's annoying, because anywhere else, I think he got a touch with a Murray shot in the near post. Yeah. That was good, and then the save from Burgess, which again, it's a yard to a yard more to the left of him, then it's a goal. But these things define a season, and this game won't be remembered fondly
Nope.
in the coming years. But I say it's a good microcosm of the season, and sadly it's not good enough. But look, one more game at home, one more game away. Hopefully we're not going to get any momentum. I can't believe we will, but just hobble to the end of the season. No one does an ACL. Reevaluate the end of the season. Finish 18th. I think that would be something.
That's next week.
Wait for the Man City 50-point deduction.
Yeah.
And then we can be staying in the Premier League for next season. But sadly, no. Finish 18th is the plan. Go down. Try and reevaluate the summer. Keep McKenna. Keep the core that you want, and then go again in August against the very, very tough championship that'll wait for us.
Yes, and you're not going to West Ham because it's your wedding day, my friend, so you've got a good excuse.
I wasn't going to say that in here, but yes, okay. Cheers, Ross.
Why not? Final question I'm going to be asking everybody. Player of the year, the vote is open and all that. West Ham game will be when they announce it. There's some obvious candidates, but who's yours?
I think it will be Liam Delap, and if I had to push for someone, I would probably say Liam Delap. You come into a newly promoted side, you are tasked with leading the line, you score double figures in, let's be honest, a team that generates less XG than everyone but Southampton, I imagine, and ploughs a lone furrow and has had an impossible task. To do what he's done is pretty incredible. He's earned his move. When he goes, it will be sad, but it's the next step. It happens. It's the next step of his career, and he will be a deserved winner. I know he's gone off a little bit off the boil, if you'd like, but I don't hold that against him. I think it's an obvious candidate. Shout out to Kose as well for being good as well. Morsley's not disgraced himself, considering his age and the fact he's never played in the Premier League before. It's been tough for absolutely everyone, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, it's not going to be like the most glowing of Player of the Year awards, but I would say Delap definitely deserves it.
Top man. Well, Bloomers, cheers. Thanks for this season once again, and see you in the Championship.
Let's go again in August.
Okay, up next is good old George. Man, oh man, that was rubbish. But yeah, it's just as Bloomer just said, it sort of summed up the season, that game.
Yeah, it did. Another tight game, then we fall the wrong side of it. We've had a few of those. We had it against Brentford, didn't we? We lost 4-3 there.
Yeah. Although that was a mental game.
Oh, that was mental. I was sort of expecting that today, actually, and that didn't actually happen. It was the polar opposite. But I thought we actually played quite reasonably well. It's just that things are out of our control. I won't mention anything so you don't get banned. But that person in the middle, we won't mention him, likes to give unlimited corners when it's the opposition team, and all things break loose and go chaos. But I thought we looked quite good. We showed ourselves we were quite respectful. We put up a fight today. Obviously fall the wrong side of it again, as we have many times this season. And moments where you kind of go, if there's any other team, it would have gone in.
Yeah.
But Flecken decided that he was going to wake up in the 90th minute and decide to actually do something in the game, because he hadn't done much all game. He was just standing there, having a nice little cup of tea, and then he decided that, I might actually do my job today. And he produced some very good saves. And we pushed, and that's what we've got to do. We've just got to put up a fight. Got to hold on to 18th. That's going to be massive for us. Leicester next weekend is going to be a big game. Hopefully we'll get 3 points out. I think we shall. Hopefully. Yeah. Touch Portman Road.
Touch wood.
Touch
the
wood
hair,
as well.
the beard.
Yeah. Touch anywhere.
Yeah.
And just put up a bit of fight. And then we've got West Ham last game of the season, but the crowd was up for it today as well. Yeah. I think it's because the sun's out. I was freezing. I know Bloomers might have been roasting, but I was freezing. That's why I still got my hoodie on. Yeah. It's absolutely cold on the top of the West Stand, I have to admit. But yeah, we just have to keep going, and some players look good today. Inciso looked good.
He got playing a match today, didn't he?
He looks.
Although
really
he's frustrating sometimes to watch. Like Julio, you're a good player, mate, but at times I'm like, oh my god.
I agree. Yeah, he just needs to release it. It's sort of that moment, just release the ball. But no, that doesn't happen. But when he gets on the ball, it's just quality, isn't it? It's absolute quality, and he's looked good when he's come in, and I think now he's starting to fire it. But yep, Leicester next, and then West Ham, and then back to the Championship we go, unfortunately.
Indeed, and I'm asking everybody, George, Player of the Year, who is your pick?
Well, I think the obvious one is Liam Delap.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for somebody a little bit different, just to spice up a little bit. I think Darragh O'Shea.
Okay, yeah.
He's been consistent. I say the whole season. I think he's been given 7 out of 10 performances. He's winning everything. And when he came in, I thought, I'm not too sure about him. But watching him play, he's been solid at the back all season.
Leadership as well.
He wins every header that comes towards him, and I think he's quite key we keep him, actually. And going into the Championship, I know Burnley couldn't keep him, but I think if we keep him, then I think he'll help us a lot with the back line. But he's looked really good this season, but obviously it's Delap. But I'm going to go for Darragh O'Shea just to spice up a little bit, I think.
Love it. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Up next, I'm joined by a great duo, K-Dog and Peachy, my boys from Wales and Newmarket. Don't know where I was going with that. But boys, that was that, wasn't it? As I said, it sort of summed up the season. Good, competitive. Decisions didn't go away. Corners, blah blah blah.
Corners, sorry.
Yeah, it was
Unlimited corners.
Unlimited corners, bloody loads. Yeah, and wrestling,
Very childish.
Felt very WWE today with everybody coming down. Who wants to take away? Just snap thoughts on that.
Say sums up the season, doesn't it? I didn't think we were uncompetitive. I thought we played all right, fairly well. Maybe better in the second half than the first half, but in both halves we had chances and we didn't take them. You can look at that incident in the multiple corners, but I've had some feedback from a good old Callum, friend of the show, and what his understanding was, if the ball had been in play, the first one would have been a penalty, but it wasn't a penalty because the ball wasn't out of play. In the end, when it all dies down, they score from the corner, and I think probably the net, if the first one would have been a penalty, if it was all gone like normally, quote unquote, then actually the net total of that is we would have been a goal down anyway. Basically, had chances, didn't take them. I thought a little bit frustrating in the final third again. Enciso had a great game, but again, sort of a bit wasteful at the end. Amari was all right, but wasteful. Delap was not his best. I do wonder if there are a couple of players who've got sort of eyes elsewhere now that they know they're going to be going.
Hope not.
You'd hope not.
I think as well with Delap, he's young as well. I also think he's young, he is learning. He's going to, maybe it's just burning out a little bit. Maybe.
Essentially,
Can I just ask, when did football become so bloody complicated? I'm sorry, I felt, obviously I've only seen it once, that first corner it comes in, and the rest stops it. The ball's live. I didn't see him stop it when Greaves got hauled to the ground. Maybe, obviously again,
but there's a VR.
My blue tick, but we don't get a
Why
VR
would you
check.
just giving out cards left, right and centre? It's like Oprah, you get a card, you get a card, everybody gets a card. He booked, every time he booked 2 players. And I'm guessing, and then for me that shows that he doesn't know what he's seen. I'll book them both because something's happened, but I don't know what. But I've got to be seen to be doing something. I thought he started
irritating me very well today.
Everywhere, 30,000 people in there irritated by him. Both sides of the coin, I think. Because he started it. Me and some of my mates are next to me. We feel like he was backing himself in the first 10 or 15 minutes into a really difficult position because he let so much go. You thought, he's going to, it'll be our first couple of things he let go. You're like, okay, that's his standard. He's letting it flow, and then all of a sudden it started to creep in that that should have been a foul. That should have been a foul. Okay, that was a foul, but should have been a yellow. He started to sort of give himself a little bit of an uphill battle to come and lose control a little bit. And I feel like it summed it up with the corner where his head had gone 20 minutes into the game.
It's quite weird. I've never been this wound up about a result. Then nothing came for us.
It's quite weird. It really doesn't matter.
I do feel that corner thing affected us as well. Obviously, we went 1-0 down, but it affected the team as well. It affected the crowd. I have to say, to be fair, it was actually quite a good header that he scored. It was a good. I'm not just going Brentford on as a good header and a good goal, but it just felt like today we could have been in front of that goal. To the side, it just weren't going in. It was just one of them things.
Yeah, Flecken played really well, didn't he?
He did.
It's another
some really good saves.
Close to the championship, and we can regroup and go from there. But I do feel football's been made very complicated.
We ain't got to worry about it next season. So it's all good.
They'll get it wrong on their own, which is fine.
I'll respect them more for that.
I don't know if you saw the Leighton Orient goal they scored. It was like way offside, wasn't it? It was like
different postcode, but
yeah,
that's what we got to look. That's what we got to look forward to. That's proper football. Yeah, he has got it wrong and he's owned it, and I like that. Yeah, there's
none
no
of this.
rescue him there.
None of this. Let's look at a clear and obvious error that takes 4 to 5 minutes. And I think we're going to put a tangent here.
Every little bit of contact they have in the box seems to go to a VAR check.
All right, boys, we're back because something happened with the phone. But boys, final question I'm asking.
Probably dodgy filming from Jebster.
Yeah, Jebster, I'm going to have a little word with you. I'm going to go duck your pay because of that. But boys, asking this to all the other guys. Player of the Year, it's an obvious candidate, but any other names you want to chuck out, or have you got that obvious candidate in your mind?
I would say Peachy. For me, I think he's been fantastic this season. He's by far and away been our best player when he's played and when he's been fit. It's a real shame we're probably not going to keep him next year because you never know. But I think he is. Cheers, mate. He is too good for the championship, and he is too good for us in the championship. And I would worry actually a little bit. We've struggled to keep him fit Saturday to Saturday. He probably wouldn't cope Saturday, Tuesday. But yeah, Tuesday for me.
Okay, Peachy, over to you.
The fans. No, I'm kidding. I think it's been mentioned. Dara O'Shea, obviously Delap's the obvious one. Kayuste as well. I'll probably go with Dara O'Shea. That's what I voted for. So, but hey, let's hope. I hope he is here next season.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I don't. hopefully Leeds or Burnley, whoever else go up, might try and pick him up. Because that's what he seems to do at the minute. I think it's relegate.
Go back to Burnley. Yeah, I'll come back now.
Oh, they're going to have Muric back. We'll have that 8 million.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But there you go. Anyway, 2 games to go. Up a town.
And the final man joining me is good old Jebster, my friend. Thanks for joining me as ever. It's been a while. Town been beaten, but competitive once again. But sort of story of the season.
I was exactly going to say the same thing. Yeah, story of the season. You go back to Liverpool, first game of the season, and tot all these home games up. Competitive in the game, but just falling short.
Okay, maybe not the Man City game, Arsenal game, Liverpool game at the start of the season. Good. Arsenal, maybe not.
Yeah, once the game kicked off, we were in the game. But then, then when the goals got away from us, then we were. No, I mean, for the majority of the season, we've been there. We've been there. We goes back to the whole, the journey that we're on, and think about the players that are on that pitch. They've been in League One, they've been in Championship, they're now in the Premier League. We've been hit by injuries. Story of the season. Yeah,
pretty much. And yeah, obviously we can talk about the game as much as we want to, but it's been done. The boys already said it. But have you? I know it's a hard question to ask, but have you enjoyed the season somewhat? Like being in the Premier League, we've been waiting for this for so long. And obviously it's nearly over now. Obviously we'll hopefully be back quicker in 20 years. But yeah,
I do it without ageism coming into this. I've been fortunate enough to see Ipswich in the Premier League twice. 22 years away, there's a whole fan base out there that haven't seen Ipswich in the Premier League, and this season's really for them. We've watched the Premier League on the telly, we've watched the Premier League develop on the telly, we've seen all these players going to World Cups, Euros. And when we got promoted against Huddersfield last season, I said to my two, all those players you keep seeing on the telly will be on this pitch this season, and that's what it's been. Without coining the tourist phrase too much, it has been a little bit like a tourist season, because we are just seeing these players, the Salahs, the Haalands, the De Bruynes, you carry on if you want to, but they're there on the pitch at Portman Road, and we've earned the right. We earned the right for that. We were, if you'd said 4 seasons ago when we were losing at home to Lincoln.
Well, when I first met you, mate, and we were like,
will we ever get back to the Premier League? I thought I'd never see Ipswich in the Premier League again in my lifetime, because the gap is so big. And I think that's what this season is. The gap is so big. But, I think the younger generation will have enjoyed it. I haven't. It's just been a case of we've just fallen short. We got promoted probably a season or two too soon. Yeah. But hey, let's not take anything away from how good it's been.
Definitely. But I definitely think the Premier League budget's gone, because normally this has got a bit of plastic over it, but now it's just...
It's even got a blue lanyard.
Yeah,
now.
so...
Look, it's getting ready for the Championship already.
Pretty much. But my friend, final question I've been asking everybody, Player of the Year, probably an obvious candidate, but who's yours?
Well, obviously the candidate's going to be Delap, isn't it? It's double figures, it's scoring goals. That's what you look at strikers anyway. They're marked on their goals. He can score goals at this level. Any club in the Premier League is going to be looking at him. It's easy one to say, that one, really.
Yeah, there's a few other people I don't think we've mentioned yet.
Go on, go for it.
I did write a story about this, and I think I did mention. Amari at one stage was doing really well, and then he just obviously got that injury and stuff.
Well, maybe the right thing to call out then is that look at the players that have stepped up. You look at Chaplin, you look at Taylor, you look at Burgess, players that we got used to watching in League One. They haven't looked out of place. They're not too out of place. They've scored goals. Taylor scored, Morsey scored, Chappers has scored, getting that one right. Hurst as well. They have scored goals in the Premier League. They've earned the right to compete at this level. So you look at those as well. I'm immensely proud. Is how I will end this season. Proud that we've got here. Enjoyed the journey. The journey hasn't ended. It's just beginning. And we'll go back down to the Championship. We'll probably, sorry to say this, be one of the favourites, if not the favourite, just because you look at the basket cases that Southampton and Leicester are at the moment. We've got to be wary of Birmingham, 111 points in League One. That we know about momentum. They'll have that. You've got to look at Wrexham, the momentum that's behind Wrexham. Sorry, K-Dog. The Championship's a tough league, but we'll go in that probably if the favourite, the favourites of that league. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get back to that winning mentality. We've had a season. We know what to expect. let's hope Kieran remains in charge as well. You know, with McKenna in charge, and let's see what next season brings.
Definitely bring it on. They were chanting Brentford a European tour. We've got a Championship tour to come. Another player to mention, Alex Palmer, because obviously he's been fantastic since coming in. Once again, like, oh, what if he signed in the summer? But anyway, we've got a full summer to talk about that and do podcast to talk about the season as a whole. But my friend, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for watching another edition of Game Day, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 2 games left to go. Leicester up next. See ya at the King Power.